Yes.
Duh. Did you?
Can y'all
did
hear
you
me
leave?
okay? Can you hear me okay? I seem to have a bad connection.
Yeah,
You're getting a bit of a hum.
Yeah, I'm getting a little hum and some crackling.
Yeah, that's crappy phone lines here.
Yeah. Yeah, we get those here too. So, did you save any of that mead I sent you for drinking tonight?
Yes, I have the Dragon's Lair Crips Pink Sizer open right now.
Oh, nice. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah?
It's good. It's the last bottle, too.
Yeah. You went through that whole 6 pack. You just got those Thursday.
Oh, my.
Well, yeah.
Not good, I guess.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, I knew you were blowing through it, but shoot. Okay, so Gary, we know a little bit of your story, but of course the people out there do not. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came to be building a meadery?
A good friend of mine years ago, he always used to have beers and meads, and he did all kinds of home brewing, and I just expressed interest in learning because I grew up in a farming family, and we always did a lot of stuff by ourselves, and I'm a chef as well, so I just was interested in another feather in my cap, or, just something else to try. So he started teaching me. We did beer first, and then we did cider, and then one day he's like, "You want to make mead?" And I'd only had the stuff you get at the Ren fairs, the kind of what I refer to a lot of times to my friends when I'm describing it is like the Coors Light of mead, the Chaucers or whatever that, in my opinion. So he started teaching me, and I decided to become a beekeeper as well because I thought that, mead, honey is pretty expensive, and if I could make it myself, I could have the control over it as well. So I just kind of started playing around, reading stuff on the internet, and experimenting as best I could. And about a year ago, I had went to a meadery up in Blackstone, Massachusetts. A guy, Kent Tubman, runs it, Crave Meadery. And I was very surprised to see, in my head, I had never been to a meadery, and it was just so much smaller than I had envisioned in my head as was going to be necessary. So at that point, I started talking to some relatives and some other people, and figured out that I could actually make it logistically work. So it's been about a year. I came in contact with a friend of a friend who was opening a distillery, and he was interested in getting in some other people as well to the distillery, so it wasn't just kind of a one-trick pony. So there's a brewery in there, and my meadery is going to be opening up as well. So it's going to be kind of a that have multiple aspects. Most places are just a meadery or just a brewery, so that's going to be really exciting to be able to draw people in that, I don't want to go drink a beer, but I'll go have some mead or anything, whatever else it will have. So that's the short end of how I came to be opening my own meadery, and can't think of much else to add to that other than I'm really excited for everything to kind of get going right now. I'm still in the quagmires of opening and licensing with the government, but hopefully with the Mead Act and some other things coming out soon, it'll be easier than, people I've talked to in the past.
Cool. Well, how do you develop your recipes? Do you do a lot of research before you start, or do you do a lot of in-depth experimentation for things, or do you just sort of put it all together and let it figure out what it's going to do while it's doing it?
I am not as scientific as the guy that taught me. He's very into all the, doing this at this certain point and adding this will, how it will affect everything. Being a chef, I kind of like to see where things go and how, I document everything, but I kind of like to just, it'd be kind of cool if I combine these two things together. I know that they work well normally, so let's see if I can get it to translate into a mead. So a lot of times I'll just come up with an idea from either something I saw or ate and just kind of get it to translate to the mead. And I've had overall resounding successes. I can say that I've probably made 20, 25 meads in the last 4 years, and I've only had 2 that were failures, and from both of them I learned, something, or learned not to do something, I should say, depending on which one it was. So it's, I think experimentation is key, and I've been trying to do at least, it's been a lot busier for me since I've been working and trying to get the meadery going, but I try to do at least 1, if not 2 a month.
That's
okay.
That's pretty cool. Are you doing 5-gallon batches right now, or?
At the moment, with my current facilities and just my finances, I've only been doing like a gallon to 3 gallons, depending on the ingredients. I'd like to be able to step up into the 5-gallon range, just because it's going to be easier to translate when I'm doing 100 or 150-gallon batches. But
yeah.
I also, I'm kind of afraid to, as anyone knows, that you don't really want to tie up, all kinds of, you don't want to tie up all of your ingredients in something that doesn't end up working out. So I think now that I've got a lot of them fleshed out at a smaller batch, it's just a matter of sizing up into the 5 and the 15 and 100 gallons.
Yeah. Well, and I've seen a lot of meaderies that do things that way. The places I've toured, they've got, 5-gallon batches that are their test batches to see, does this recipe work, or does it need tweaking, or whatever. And, so that's, totally valid way to go about it.
Yeah, it's definitely, I've made the mistakes on some of the smaller batches, like I said, so it's definitely, easier than just throwing 30 gallons together and going, yeah, that'll hopefully work.
Now, are you going for more complicated things at this point, or are you sticking to like a traditional and a melomel? Or if you tell us as much as you can, obviously, there may be some things you don't want to talk about yet.
Absolutely. My thought process was to try and come up with as many different flavor combinations, to go sort of outside of the box. There's a wide variety of things available out there, but in my area, there's really not much outside of your standard, just melomels, occasionally a sizer, a few methomels, but there's really not much. So it's also going to be whatever my local ordinances and what the TTB ends up allowing, but I'd really like to come into just, using my culinary background to bring in these flavors and these different combinations. One of the ones that I'm looking into trying out soon is going to be a mango habanero. It's something that I want to translate to the mead.
It works for salsa. You see that combination in salsa a lot, at least in my area.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's good glaze on salmon.
Yeah, very good on salmon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd also like to, once I have the meads going up, we're looking in the future to expand into a restaurant, and I definitely would like to be able to it would be very easy to just take these developed flavors and just kind of, put them right into sauces or marinades and,
nice.
Just cook with them. So that's a future goal of mine, but I'd like to walk before I run. So.
You are among the few. I just saw a thing on one of the Facebook groups that I hang out in about mead, and it was a new mead maker who, like me, was starting out with something really complicated, and he was really excited about it, which is awesome. But having fell flat on my face when I made my first batch because I didn't have anybody around to tell me don't do that, and it didn't occur to me that it would be. I don't know. I guess I just didn't think it'd be that hard, but. And a lot of other people probably think the same thing, but yeah, we all of them talked him down off the limit. It was like, how about a nice melomel?
Yeah, definitely. I was lucky enough to have somebody that we started out, and the first one I ever made was just a simple standard show mead. Just nothing fancy to it. And even honestly, the second one I think was just a repeat of the first one, just because I really enjoyed it, and it was so simple. Once I got that down, then I started. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was really really instrumental, and he helped me to really even we get together usually once a year at this point. We're not really big Super Bowl or sports fans, so we actually get together for the Super Bowl and we all make a batch of mead, and then the next year we get together and drink the last ones and see who was the winner of the previous year.
Oh, fun!
Cool.
Do you watch the commercials?
Sometimes we will throw on the commercials, or if it's later in the night, we'll just find YouTube or something to get all the best ofs.
Yeah, it's like here's such and so plowing through the
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the commercials. That's what we don't really watch the game unless it's a team that if the Steelers play, I watch the game. But
Right.
yeah, but I'm not unless it's somebody I'm really really keen on. I watch college games more than anything else. David, I'm sorry, you were trying to jump in.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Thought I heard you trying to jump in.
Oh, no, I didn't say anything.
Okay. Being your usual taciturn self.
So when you do fruit batches, how do you manage your fruit? Do you do them in primary or secondary, split halfway? Do you bag your fruit, free run? How do you handle fruit?
One of the experiences that I spoke of earlier, where I had a bad turnout, is I had made a strawberry vanilla mead, and I didn't bag it, and I didn't let it clear out enough, and I just bottled it. I just wanted it, I was going on vacation. I just wanted to get it done before I left, and a lot of the bottles have a considerable amount of muck. Is I guess the only thing that I can really call it, just the fruit and just yeast and everything in there, and it's a perfectly drinkable bottle, but I've had a hard time getting anybody to try them because they just see all the sediment floating in there and they just think something's wrong with it. So that was my experiences with using it without bagging it. In the future, I'd like to definitely, especially if it's going to be these were local strawberries that I'd actually picked and used, and it just the flavor was all right, but I was a little bit disappointed in how it ended up coming out. So when I go going forward, like I said, I think I'm going to move to bagging. I do like the primary, just because I feel that the flavor integrates a lot better than adding into the secondary. But everybody has their own preferences, and for me, I think it's better when it's in the. Sorry, just losing a little time. I thought when I put it in the primary, but I plan on experimenting with the mango. I think I might actually go both stages and do the primary and the secondary.
How do you figure you're gonna? Have you done this mango habanero yet in a small batch, or is this something that you're playing with still?
I have not actually made it yet. I plan on doing it soon, but I have not actually. I'm thinking that I'm probably going to do the mango and in the primary, and I've actually made previously a series of tinctures or tonics with hot peppers.
Oh.
So I think that I might actually just put that in the secondary, or maybe like a couple weeks before I bottle, just to get the flavor to marry in there. But I'm worried that they're going to be, if I add them in too soon, that they're going to be too potent.
Well, I know a lot of people that I've talked to say that what they're doing is putting the peppers in. Tinctures and tonics are great, but there's issues there on the commercial side, I think, because they tend to have alcohol in them themselves. But when they're using, especially the hotter peppers like ghost peppers and Carolina peppers and whatnot, they're bagging them or some other way confining them so that they can check the mead every single day and yank those puppies out of there. Some people are even checking them more often than daily, because they infuse so quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm going to be very cautious with, especially the habanero. I have another one in mind that I was going to do a smoky jalapeno, and that one's not going to be as big of a deal just because of the jalapeno is much more mild.
Well,
than the
once you
habanero.
smoke it too, it rounds off all the edges. There was a Chipotle mead in the Mazer Cup several years ago that I want to say it took Best in Show. It was a home mead, but it was stunning, really, really well done. And then, of course, there's a whole bunch of commercial ones that are really excellent too. One of my favorites is B Nectar's Chipotle Cherry.